What's up guys, and welcome to another episode of Park Sharks. Today I'm at the Beverly Hills Skatepark in Beverly Hills, Florida. Kind of strange, but not near as strange as this gem of a skate park. There are a ton of great, amazing skate parks in Florida. This one, not so much. Let's dig in. I honestly don't even know where to start, and I hate putting myself in this situation, because I like going to all skate parks, even bad ones like this, and I hate giving parks bad reviews, but I have to be truthful and honest because that's what I do. I travel and I say whether or not you should come here. Let's just start from the beginning. I came here a couple months ago and shot some drone footage, and when I first pulled up, I noticed that it's a decent size. It's not huge, but it's definitely not small. I got kind of excited, it looked pretty cool. All concrete park. Right when you pull up, you see a lot of banks, a lot of curves, and it looks pretty cool until you skate it. Once I finally got on my board and started skating it some, you really realize that everything is very difficult to skate, so you're gonna have to be a little creative. So basically there are 3 sections. There is a small beginner section with a little bowl thing, and then there is a bigger bowl that's very similar to it. That would be the second section. And then the third section is a larger bowl with 2 pointless stair sets that go down it that you can't skate, but we'll get into that. The small bowl section consists of 2 different obstacles. There are these 2 blocks that have angle iron on them, so you can grind them, and they're not very high. They're easy to get onto. They slide pretty well. There is no end to it, a drop off like most boxes would be. It just kind of goes straight into the concrete, so that can be frustrating for people who are used to jumping off the end of a box. And right next to it is this little bowl with no coping. It's basically just these super mellow banks that curve around, and it's so mellow, honestly I didn't even know what to do on it, so I just rode around to get warm. I guess it's a good place to just get warm. I went back to the 2 blocks and was like, okay, I guess I'll get creative, so I just skated them as small ledges and did a couple of tricks. Next to that is this larger bowl with, once again, no coping. It's basically just like a bank, super mellow. It is larger as in it takes up more area, but it's just as mellow. So you can pump around it, but you're very limited as to what you can actually do in it. The one thing that I found was fun to do was just pop out the side of it. You can get a little bit of speed and just knock some tricks coming out of the transition to flat. Then that brings us to the third bowl section. It's just this long bowl with 1 semicircle on one end, and then it's kind of open in the other end. There's these 2 stair sets that go down it on both sides that you cannot hit because there's no runway. So that's frustrating. You might see it at first when you walk in and go, oh, they got stair sets, and then you get close to it and you're like, you can't even skate these. Okay, cool. Don't know why they're here. The bowl is hard to skate. I would have shown more of it, but somebody decided to spray paint a whole bunch of profanity, graffiti all over it. So I could only show a little bit of it. Hopefully they'll get that cleaned up. But the bowl is pretty difficult to skate just because it's not built well at all. The transition is too mellow on the semicircle on the end. And then everywhere else, where the stair set is and everything, it's too steep, as in the transition goes into a flat wall and it's very jarring, and then there's coping on the flat wall, but it's really difficult to skate. The concrete's really wavy and bumpy, and it's just really jarring. It's not smooth. It's not like a smooth curve. It's very frustrating. On the far end of the bowl where the semicircle is, we have another noping situation where the coping doesn't stick out hardly at all. It's almost dead even with the flat surface. So that could be frustrating. And then down on the smaller end where the bowl starts, there's this 1 quarter pipe that goes into flat brick wall, and then there's coping there, and that coping sticks out pretty far, not up, but out into the transition. And I couldn't even do a rock to fakie on it. It's so small and tight, and it just goes into that wall, and then the coping sticks out this way, and it was just I can't do anything. So I got creative and I just skated it as a ledge, because why not? It probably wasn't even intended to be skated that way, but hey, do what you gotta do. So down in the shallow end of the bowl, there is more transition that has no coping. It's just this wave that curves at the top, and it's super, super, super steep, which that was pretty fun messing around on. I landed more than I thought I could do on it, so that was kind of cool. I actually kind of enjoyed that little section. Right next to that is, it's still kind of all in the same area, so it's not its own section, but there is some transition that goes up into a brick wall that's right up against the fence. And that was fun. It's really steep and hard to get into and get out of, so that was challenging, but it was really fun because you could just do the simplest thing and you feel like you really accomplished something. So I actually really enjoyed that section. So that's pretty much everything. Here are a couple things that I haven't mentioned yet that are really bad. There's a good ledge. They built a really good ledge there for jumping down, and it's nice and long so you could hit it from a bunch of different angles, but they put a pointless fence going all the way down and around that edge. Why? This is a skate park. We're supposed to be jumping down stuff, but they put a guardrail there so you can't hit it. And you can't escape the guardrail either because it's too high, so it's a safety thing, I guess. Don't understand the logic behind building that at all. The concrete is really bumpy in a lot of places. Even on the banks, it can be frustrating if you're going really slow, but once you have plenty of speed, it doesn't really affect you too much. But if you're just trying to skate just on a bank up and down, the banks are so mellow that the unevenness in the concrete, the little bumps can really mess you up, and it can be frustrating for sure. So I'm sure if you lived here and skated a lot, you could get used to it, but me just only being out here for a couple hours, I was struggling, that's for sure. There are a handful of cracks that really need to be filled. The concrete's just not good concrete, and it's gonna crack and continue to crack if it's not taken care of properly. So that's definitely something that needs to be addressed. I hope that it does get addressed in the future, or it's just gonna continue to get worse. Beverly Hills, Florida is a small town. It's north of Tampa and a bit southwest of Ocala. I don't think it's really far from Ocala at all, and I shot an episode in Ocala at their skate park. It's amazing. So if you're in this area and you can, you have means to go to Ocala, definitely go to Ocala instead, because that's an amazing skate park. But small towns usually don't have skate parks, or I've been to a lot of small towns that don't have skate parks at all. That being said, I've been to skate parks in small towns that are way better than this. So if you have to judge this park based on other skate parks I've experienced in towns that are this small, this one definitely doesn't live up at all. It's pretty bad. But if you live in this town, I grew up in a town without a skate park. I know just having this, I would definitely appreciate it. I've been to, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 skate parks in Florida, and this one's definitely, I think, the worst one I've been to. Even worse than Madison, Florida. And if you don't know about Madison, Florida, it's another really small town. It's close to the Georgia border. It's terrible. I did 2 episodes there.
Why, man? We could have went anywhere else. Oh yeah, let's start on season 2 with Madison. Park we've already done before. Well, let's do it here in Madison again, because it's shitty.
And it's just not a fun park at all, but it does have more obstacles that you can skate, and it's easier to be a little bit more creative there than it is here. Here, you kind of feel stuck because everything's so mellow that you're just like, it's weird. It's a weird combination. Either it's too mellow or too steep, which usually I wouldn't complain about either, but the obstacles themselves, like when there should be coping, there isn't coping. Where it should be steeper, it isn't steep. And then when it should be more mellow, it's too steep. And when the things that do have coping, the coping's horrible. Like it's not placed in the concrete correctly. So I don't think a skate park manufacturer built this place. It's probably something similar to Hahira in Georgia. They gave it their best shot there. I think it was like a pool company that built it. And sometimes cities will go with the cheapest option. And sometimes the cheapest option is somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, and it results in a pretty pitiful skate park like this one. I don't know the history behind it, but I certainly hope that it wasn't a skate park manufacturer that built this place, because it's pretty bad. So if you grow up in this town and this is all you have to skate, you'll be able to get some experience, and then as you get older, you can move out to other surrounding areas that have much better places to skate. Thanks for bearing with me and sticking around for another episode of Park Sharks. Here's what's coming up next.